I literally tell everyone that like this is my dream job. I never thought anyone would give me a chance at like developing my own program. And I just want to like show people how good something can be. And like pastry, you know, I'm up at 5 a.m. and I'm a morning person, I'm ready to go. Happy bread makes me happy. I guess it basically comes from my personality, you know, and I'm very meticulous, I'm very organized, and that, you know, reflects a lot more in pastry. And plus, like, I would honestly rather eat a slice of cake and ice cream for dinner than anything else. So that's how it goes. So I don't know, what draws me to pastry, I guess, is, you know, you have to eat food, right? You have to have a meat and veg or whatever, and like people don't have to have pastry. I mean, I do. I eat chocolate every day, but I don't know. It's something special. It's a treat, and I like making people happy. Hi, my name is Kelly Mencin. I am the pastry chef and baker at Rolos in Ridgewood, Queens. Get a lot of stair work in here. It definitely helps that I have my own space. Also, I've been doing this for I don't know how many months now, so I like have such a routine down. This is like a big day. So these get trayed up. Honestly, my favorite part of the day is the early morning bake. Usually it's just me here. You know, it's get to work and hit the ground running, and that's how I like to start. Well, this is the bolus, which is like a cross between a cinnamon roll and a sticky bun. And we use this wholesome, super dark brown muscovado sugar, very flavorful compared to like other sugars. And it's basically just a milk bread dough. Originated in the Netherlands, which is where our chef owner Rafik grew up. And this one town, you know, was the only town that made this bolus. There's not a lot of sugar in the dough. It's a very simple dough, and then it bakes hot and fast. So we're gonna let it rest. Yeah, they sell out quick. So the best way to describe Rolos, I would say, is a neighborhood restaurant. We all craved that one restaurant that you want to go to like night after night that just feels like home. It's comfortable, like unpretentious, things that you're like, can I make that at home? But there's no way you can make it and season it that well. So you can see the sugar on the bottom a bit, how it's like melted. That's gonna end up caramelizing and create that nice crust on top of the bolus. The way that Rafik grew up with them, they're typically served with like a big smear of like salted, delicious butter on top. So that's why we finished them with that. I think our pastry and bread program is so unique because there's so much you can get under one roof. Ice creams and bread and plated desserts and, you know, and pastries. It's a little bit of everything, and it keeps me on my toes and really engaged. All right. Nice and bubbly. So we're gonna flip, and then all that sugar is gonna go to the top. Big reveal. The smell that this makes in the kitchen is just, it reminds me of Cinnabon. We say that the food is simple but executed perfectly. Almost all the recipes that I've built from scratch here have gone through a major trial and error. As a collective, like I think the chef team here, we're all very hard on ourselves, and like we hold each other to like a certain kind of standard. So there it is. I don't like to make too many because they're best very soon out of the oven. They're very photogenic. Oh, sorry, this is my freezer. I try and keep it as organized, but it's a little crazy right now. So we freeze all of our doughs, gougere. That's the only way, like, most bakeries do this. We started naming them cheese puffs.
Really?
Yeah, and then they started selling more. So what are you gonna do? Caramelized onions, lots of black pepper, nice and cheesy. Then they just smell so good. We're gonna preheat and bake the jammers. So these are a biscuit dough, but with just a shit ton of butter in them. And then they're folded 4 times. They're basically treated almost like a croissant. So you get all these layers. So you'll see once they bake, that's why they're like so flaky and light. We try and pare things down to the bare minimum. Like if there is, you know, fluff or like extras, it has a purpose. So these bake hot and fast. Creme fraiche, heavy cream, and a little bit of sugar. And this is what goes on top of the jammers. The creme fraiche is nice and tart, so it's not too sweet. The jammers, that's gonna be their new name. I don't know, my brain never turns off when it comes to pastry. And it's things that I'm craving, just something that, you know, hints at familiar, but it's also like a bit of a surprise. Yeah, brownies and cookies we do sell all day. The brownie is my beloved items. It's cakey, but also chewy and fudgy, and I also love that, you know, we put the brownies in our coffee ice cream, which is like my second favorite thing. So we're gonna do a quick spin of the sweet cream. I never thought our ice cream program would be this big. We're basically making bananas Foster. Caramelized sugar, rum, and then this will be added to the base for the banana ice cream. At Rolos, we probably have anywhere between 25 and 30 different flavors of ice cream, sherbet, sorbet. Sweet cream, to me, tastes like Dairy Queen soft serve, which is what I grew up on in Ohio. And like this to me is like the best version of that. And I spent 6 months making like the base recipe. We do more milk, so it's technically a gelato. And I knew I wanted an ice cream that did not have yolk, so it was a more clean flavor. Let's give it a taste. Definitely DQ memories right here. So this is like the base for basically all of our ice creams. You know, the flavors are limitless. You know, our burnt cinnamon ice cream is cinnamon sticks that we basically light on fire, and they get steeped in that base. So this is like another 2-day process. We roast cinnamon sticks in our wood-fired oven until they're blackened and charred, and then they steep overnight in our milk and cream. It's not your typical cinnamon, because the cinnamon's quite literally burnt, so it takes on like this, I don't know, like nutty, almost like woodsy. It's not spicy. So far, I've only heard the good feedback, but you know, people love that it's scoopable. Most of our bread is pretty high hydration, which makes it a nice open crumb and not too dense. It's like a 48-hour fermentation for this dough. We have focaccia usually out by 9:30 in the mornings. We do 2 bakes of that a day. It's a sourdough focaccia, and the toppings change, but we always have Our tomato, we call it tomato pie, and it's, you know, a simple tomato sauce with garlic and oregano and pepper. We use Jersey fresh tomatoes, lots of sauce. And then we have our grape and olive with rosemary, which is like deliciously salty and sweet. Grapes may seem, I don't know, a bit surprising on focaccia, but it's actually pretty classic. So fresh rosemary, lots of olive oil. It also helps the rosemary not to burn. I mean, we were making 20 focaccia a day, like pretty major production for a small restaurant. So this is stracciatella. It's lightly seasoned, so we're gonna finish it with a little bit of more malted and some pepper. That's ready to go. We're just trying to make what we want to eat and then put that in front of people and hope that they like it as much as we do. So nice and crunchy, happy. That's a happy focaccia. All right, we're going upstairs. People can see, at least I think, you know, I think it really shows that I love my job. I love what I do. The happier that you are and the staff are, I think it for sure shows in the food.